Hello, everybody. Welcome back to In Conversation with ATF. Now I'm back. It's been a long time. I've been working on my book, and well, I thought let's do some more podcasting. Let's jump right back into it. And so, the first guest after my hiatus is none other than voice actor John Stiens. Hi, John.
Hi. Hi, Amber.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Well, that's good. That's good. Obviously, you've done quite a bit of voiceover. Well, of course, you were born in Ohio,
Hmm.
Cincinnati. You moved to
Yep.
Chicago, and then you moved to LA.
Yeah, so
Or have you been
I
to other places in between?
no, you got it down. So
Ah,
I
okay.
born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, and
Mm-hmm.
then went off to college for 4 years at Ohio University.
Mm-hmm.
Got my degree in theater there, and then moved to Chicago, where I was there for 8 years and did sketch comedy and improv with the likes of Second City and IO. Uh, Found voiceover while I was there, or kind of got not pushed into it, but suggested I try it out.
Yeah.
Found a career there, and once I sort of hit my peak, as it were, in Chicago, most of my industry experts kind of said, like, hey, if you want to make this like a full time thing, you got to go to LA. That's where all the work is. So, picked up sticks in 2016 and moved out to LA and have been here ever since.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you've had quite a journey then. Well,
Yeah.
I'm jealous, honestly, because like I've been to LA twice, but I'd really love to live there at some point, but like not live there, like maybe spend a few months there, a few months here
Hmm.
back in the UK, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I can tell you the months you want to be here versus the months you don't.
Oh,
We have, oh, yeah.
oh,
Right now is probably the perfect time to be here. Our winters and our springs are great. Our summers and our falls they're very hot.
very
Like,
hard. Yeah.
I'd say triple digits, but I know you're on the Celsius system, but even then it feels like the triple digits.
Yeah, honestly, because I was out there in July, I'm just
Oof.
thankful that people's houses had air conditioning and stuff like that. I
Oh
was like,
gosh, yeah.
so, John,
Yes.
recently you became a dad
Yeah.
to little Clara.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, that is so sweet. Now, I've got to ask, in the future, will you be showing her potentially Bugs Bunny Builders, considering that's one of I think it is the first preschool show that you've done work for?
Hmm. Oh, most
Awesome.
definitely. I'll be showing it to her when she gets a chance. Although right now we are very much in a no screens
Ah,
world,
I
so
like
it'll
that.
probably be when she's a little bit older. But yeah, I'd like to build a legacy where I can show her multiple things.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Bugs Bunny Builders is definitely on that list because it is geared very much towards that preschool
yeah,
age range.
yeah. And what was it like working with Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, who was the voice director on the show?
Oh, she was so sweet. It was a really fun collaborative process. So,
Hmm.
uh, it, getting in the booth, we recorded at Bang Zoom,
Ah,
and
Bang Zoom. Yeah.
yeah, I've been there for like anime stuff, but this was the first prelay animation gig that I did there, and uh, she was just really open to like, hey, here are the bones of the script, like improvise, have fun
Hmm.
with it. And yeah, so I got an opportunity to kind of stretch my legs there, and Mary Elizabeth was all about it. So we had about an hour booked, and we filled that time. And the script itself is only about a 15-minute little clip. So
Ah, okay. So
yeah,
was it just you on your own filming, or you didn't do ensemble?
yeah. So they rarely do ensemble anymore, just because of people's scheduling and all that. So I was actually at Bang Zoom by myself with the sound
Oh,
engineer and Mary Elizabeth, as well as I believe the dialogue and animation directors were also on the line, sort of collecting bits and pieces. Like, oh yeah, we can definitely use that. Oh, we really love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, uh, I had when I because this was my first job I booked with Warner Brothers. So in my head, I was thinking,
Wow.
yeah, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to drive on the lot. I'm going to park right underneath the Warner Brothers tower. I'm going to high five Bugs Bunny on my way in. Um, and I went to Bang Zoom instead, which is a lovely audio studio. And everyone was up on the monitor, and they gave me the option of recording from home. They're like, no, I want to go in. I want to like really make this a thing.
Hmm.
And so I go in and they're all on the monitor. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm the only one here. All right. Well, cool. But yeah, very rarely do they have the whole ensemble come in. And if you think about it, with people like Bob Bergen and Eric Bauza, like having all of us try to organize schedules, come into the room
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm sure I would be a hoot from like an improvisational standpoint,
Yeah.
but like a logistic standpoint, that just doesn't happen as often as you'd like.
No, no, definitely
Yeah.
not. It was common back then. I think it was Andrea Romano who always encouraged people to ensemble record, even when
Yeah.
people weren't really doing it anymore. That's what's
Oh yeah.
very unique about her.
Hmm.
I was gonna say, yes. Have you worked at Salami Studios, which is I don't think it's far away from Bangzoo.
Have I
Uh,
done work at Salami Studios? I believe I have.
okay.
If I haven't recorded anything there in particular, I have taken a class there or a
Okay.
workshop or two. So like I am familiar with their studio. Um, and again, really cool place. I've kind of noticed there's sort of a there's a prototype to having an animation studio or a voiceover studio, and so you have your marquee stuff, you have your posters of all the like really cool projects you've gotten to
Yeah. All
record
signed
there.
by the cast and
Hmm.
stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and like there's a really nice snack table with teas and
Yes.
juices for the clients.
Yes.
And unfortunately, because of that, it's like they all kind of blur together.
Now, what I want to know is,
Yeah.
so is Fozzie, is he just a one-off character, or is he going to be a recurring character on the series, if you
Well,
can say?
I can't. I don't really know. The industry is in such a flux right now. Because I know that I'm don't know if you're aware, but like Cartoon Network has been like purchased, and Warner Brothers Cartoons has kind of
Yes, it was in
been,
Burbank across the other side of the freeway, and now it's
yeah,
on the Warner Brothers lot, I think it is. Yeah.
yeah. So they like Cartoon Network, the building kind of that was sort of shut down. And then like Warner Brothers as a company has been kind of making moves as to what products it wants to keep, like
Yeah, they've been
HBO
axing a lot
and
of preschool
yeah,
shows,
yeah.
which is
So
unfortunate.
as far as Bugs Bunny Builders, like I don't know if it'll get picked up for another season. I know they wrapped on season two months and months ago, and
Hmm.
gives you an idea how long pre-lay animation takes for it
Oh
to
yeah,
become fully
yeah.
produced. But yeah, they wrapped on it about 6 months ago,
Hmm.
and there's always that chance they're going to do a season three. And
Yeah.
as far as like new projects, I talked with a couple of the writers and have connected with like the animation director, and they'd all love to do more work. I'd love to do more work. Everybody really liked working with each other, but it's all what the studios have the appetite for and what directions they want to push in. So it's a
Yeah.
very long-winded answer saying I have no idea.
That's okay. The reason why I was asking mainly is
Yeah.
because for one-off characters or recurring characters, I'm not sure if it's different, but
Hmm.
when there's a casting call put out to agents saying, "Oh, we've
Yeah.
got a character that's just appearing in one episode. We need to find a voice."
Hmm.
How did it sort of go with you? Because you're represented by, in fact, probably one of the top agencies, I'd say, because they're repping Frank Welker, Peter
Hmm.
Cullen, Cheryl Chase, TGMD. So
Yeah.
how so did the casting call come through to you, or does it go out to everyone, or do you get handpicked? How did it work? How does it work for one-off characters who are
That's a good
not
question.
again?
Uh, so the way that I've experienced it, and I can only speak from like the actor's point of view,
Yeah.
is that I will get an email from my agent
Uh-huh.
with a breakdown of the character. Um, Sometimes it'll be, and it'll depend on the project. So some
Mm-hmm.
projects they'll be very detailed of like, hey, this is for Bugs Bunny Builders. The character is Fosse Ferret. The age range for this show is preschool. Like they want to give
Mm-hmm.
you as much information as possible,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
come in. So they'll give you a big, and I'm sure you've seen it in your own auditioning, where they'll give you like a paragraph of all the things they're looking for.
yeah.
Um, and you get in your booth, kind of do your breakdown of what this character is going to sound like in your own head, uh, send off your audition, and then it really depends on the casting process and the magic they work on their side. So uh, I've had it where they've come back and said, hey, they really liked what you did. They're still in the midst of the casting process. They'd like to do a second read. I've had, and this was the case with Fosse Ferret, where they just came back and said, yep, you're our guy. Here's when we'd like to record.
Ah.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, that is sort of what I've seen from the casting process. Now, I've also seen it where auditions have come in where you're given a lot, they can't speak to what it is actually. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
this
like
is a Star
like a
Wars project.
code
We all
name.
know this is
Yeah,
a Star Wars project, but it's called like Space Busters, and it's about this mythic group of
yeah,
space monks who have
yeah.
special space swords.
There's always a code
Um,
name if it's a big franchise.
exactly.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. But yeah, with Bugs Bunny Builders, it was such an established series and a brand and a voice that, and with Warner Brothers cartoon, like with the Bugs Bunny brand,
yeah,
similar like Mickey Mouse is,
yeah.
you have like the Looney Tunes side of it, which is very much like high energy, high pace,
High energy,
uh,
running into
yeah,
walls, hitting each other.
anvils smacking into people,
Yes,
like
T
quips and quotes.
Dynamite. You know.
And you have that side of it, which is geared more towards like the teen and adult audience, and then you have Bugs Bunny Builders, which is more towards like preschool, and that really helps to define, okay, like the like, hey man, how you doing, is sort of on that one side versus, hey,
Yeah,
how are we doing? Let's all go along. Hey, your truck is blue. Like that, like that's how you get to talk to
let's
like the
go build
younger audience.
something.
Exactly. Like everything's from a much more positive place. Even when a character is mean, they're not really mean. Um, so I am very much in the camp of the more information you can give me, the better, because then I can do
Yeah.
my research and then I can come in with like a fully realized idea.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
I prefer
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Now I'm looking at your resume here that I've got to the side of
Yeah.
me. Of course, you've done work for Genshin Impact. You've
Yeah.
done the voice of Lenny in the Hint commercials.
Oh yeah.
Of course, you've done stuff like Sketch Marks, Snow Fort, Monsters Trick or Treat, which is a music video that I found online, which you've
Yeah.
done. It's on IMDb. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I do my homework.
No, if you're coming with
um,
stuff, I was like, oh yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, and of course the audio drama. Now I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong again, so do excuse me.
sure.
Carcerum,
Carcerum. Yeah.
Carcerum. There we go. We've got to
Yeah.
pronounce this the little emphasis on the e and the r and stuff. It's yeah, Carcerum. There we go.
Yes.
Okay, so I think I have heard of that because I've been in voiceover now for about I'd say 5 years.
Hmm.
So I would see people posting about it, and I think it was Grey Delisle who would particularly post about it because I think like her children were in one of the episodes or a few of the episodes or something. So what was that
Yeah.
like? Because it was
Uh,
during COVID, I think.
yeah. It was a trip. So it is the baby of Shane Salk, who's a voice actor and director in his own right,
Uh-huh.
and Bill Holmes, who, when you're out here next, highly recommend taking a class through him.
Yes.
He goes by the VO Doctor.
The
Um,
video doctor.
yes, this whole thing's about diagnosing your issues and giving you the right prescription.
That's quite good, actually. I might have
Yeah,
to.
I'm gonna charge him for the plug. But yeah, so the Shane Salk came up with this whole world concept, very much swords and sorcery fantasy. And because Bill has been in the industry for so long, he was able to bring in people like Grey Delisle, Maurice LaMarche. I believe Dana Powers is in it, and then Neil Flynn plays one of the main characters. If you remember him, he was like the janitor from Scrubs and was in the middle.
So
Um, yeah, so it's like it's got a pretty decent all-star cast.
yeah,
And but with a swords and sorcery podcast like that, you know, there's scenes that take place in a battlefield and then another scene that takes place at like a mead hall. And so they needed like as many voices as possible to like just play the warriors and the bar patrons, and like I think I again is sort of that a lot of little voices, like I
yeah.
like scared warrior number two, the guy who like has a panic attack before he goes out to get killed battlefield. So like, but again, it's Bill's a great director, and the space that we recorded in was large enough. Like my booth's about the size of a telephone booth, if that's not dating myself completely.
No,
Uh,
we still have telephone booths in the village I live in.
Fair. But the room that I recorded in for Carcerum was about the size of someone's living room. So,
Wow.
and the mics were sort of all around. So you still wanted to stay close to where you're at, but you
So
have the ability of like moving and picking up. And so when you're swinging the sword,
so
you
this was in a
actually,
studio, right?
yeah,
An actual
yeah,
Oh, right, okay. In
yeah.
LA.
Yes. Had
Wow.
Compost Productions.
Compost production. Well, we say compost over compost. Yeah, it's different pronunciations. That's
Yes.
actually really cool. So living room, was it it's like soundproof?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
So
want to work in that. That
it's a
sounds
fun
like
place
fun.
to be. And again, if you manage to drop in for one of his classes, you would. So
Yes, yes. So Carcerum, there we go.
Carcerum. Yeah.
Carcerum, there we go.
Yeah. It's
Is it still going or is it finished?
It's finished. So they
Ah,
did
right, okay.
one full season, but again, it's the nice part about it is a full story. So you're not left with like a big cliffhanger at the end going, well, are they going to find it or not? Um, I know that Shane would love to do like I know he'd love to do another season, but
Yeah.
from what I remember, he said that to get to the point, it took him years to write it out because he had like 30 main characters on the board. So
Yeah.
for him to like put them all together and do a second season, probably be a couple of years before he's ready to start recording again. Yeah,
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
John, have you ever done ADR or dialogue replacement before?
A little. Um, I was part of both a loop group and an ADR crew for a Selena Gomez documentary that
I
came
did
out.
see that, but I was
Yeah.
wondering what was that for? Like, it was a documentary, but what would you have ADR'd? Like the crowd or something?
So a lot of they had so it's getting into the super high technical stuff like when they record live footage, a lot of times they don't have those people mic'd. And I think there's something to do with legality of like who they can record versus who they can show film of. And so even for something like a documentary, there was a scene where a director was trying to tell Selena how to dance in a certain number, and they didn't have that director's voice. And so they beat it out, and you have the three beeps, and then you jump in and give the line, which I think like, Selena, could we try again, like a little bit more fever this time? Um, so yeah, that's it's sort of filling in those gaps. Same thing with like crowd scenes when Selena would be like going in front of a bunch of people, like in a crowd of people. None of those people have microphones on, and so to
No.
recreate the sound of that crowd, uh, they had me and I think there were about 15 other people standing in front of a mic and
Wow.
reacting as if Selena Gomez was walking in front of us. Yeah.
That would have been really cool. Just like
Oh, it
what
was
what
fun.
would they have put in front? Like to make it more realistic, they should have actually like someone like really cool walking and then just everyone just reacts to them. You have something to focus on.
I mean, mostly it's just a director going, okay, and she's here, follow my finger, and she's here, and she's there. So, unfortunately, they didn't bring in somebody cool to walk across. They just had the
Oh,
director saying,
that's a
she's
shame.
walking from right to left, follow my finger, and that way they get the acoustics correct. So it does
Yeah.
sound like, hey, 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 hey.
Sorry, I've got people messaging me. I've got family, I've got voiceover people messaging me.
No, it's okay.
Leave me alone. I'm talking to someone.
It's
um,
okay.
is there an animation franchise or any franchise in general that you'd love to do voiceover work for that you've not done yet?
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, like I'm a huge DC Comics fan, and the
My type
opportunity
of
to
guy. You're my type of
the
guy.
opportunity to play any of the Green Lanterns would be like hands down number one goal. Um, Makes me so sad that the movie was so bad. But
Have you heard of the Green Lantern statue that's just been unveiled in
yeah, the
Burbank?
one of John Stewart over in Burbank.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I'm meaning to go see it soon. Um,
yes.
But yeah, I'd love to play a Green Lantern or frankly, any superhero in
Yes.
the DC side of things.
Yes.
My
Yes.
kind of like dream goal is to have an action figure that I did the voice of. Um, but yeah, and then like obviously the brass ring is to become the voice of one of those legacy characters, like to be the next Bugs Bunny, to be the next Yosemite Sam, or like next Goofy. But that, I mean, that would be a feat in and of itself. So,
Yeah.
and there's like
So,
three or four people in line for that.
yeah, yeah. I must apologize, John. I've been looking down at my phone. I've got Taz texting me, Fred Tattershaw. So we're
Oh,
trying to, yeah, we're arranging stuff for March. So we
that's
always meet,
awesome.
we always see each other when we come out to the States. And he's just, I think, he's not really been voicing Taz that long, because I think it was Jim Cummings who used to do it, and then Fred took over. I don't know, but
Is that the case? I
I'm
legit
not
don't know.
sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, in Space Jam, both of them voiced Taz, so maybe
Huh.
pickup lines. I don't know. Um, what about any Marvel characters you'd like to play? Maybe any X
Uh,
Men. Any on the Spider Man side,
uh,
Avengers.
I mean, I would be, I would love to. I've always from the X-Men '97 world, my two favorite characters were always Nightcrawler and Colossus because they had just such
Uh,
strong European accents. You have
mm-hmm.
Nightcrawler who is very German and also very quiet and small. And
Yes.
then on the opposite side, you had Colossus who's like, Ileana, no, we must go down. And it's like, those would be like the two fun ones.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, Spider-Man would be really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's sort of that who wouldn't want to voice Spider-Man?
Yeah.
But honestly, the auditions and opportunities I've had
Mm-hmm.
have been more on the villain side. Like to be able to do like a
Oh.
Green Goblin cackle, uh,
Yeah.
is just it's chef's kiss. Like that. That's where you have the real fun.
But would you rather just be Green Goblin, or would you also like to be Norman Osborn as well? Or would you rather have two separate people for each character?
I mean, that's the fun part about doing this job, right? Is that,
Yeah.
you can play the like more like reserved businessman of like the Norman
Yeah.
Osborns going into a boardroom and being very clear and concise about what you need from everyone there, and then
Mm-hmm.
just getting to like out with the more the Green Goblin side of things.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
sort of like
impressive. I love it.
playing like the pre Gone Crazy Joker and the so far into his own madness Joker.
Yeah,
Like both are so much fun.
definitely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with you. I've got to ask you about sketch marks. Now, I looked on
Oh,
IMDb and it says that if you'd like to talk about them, maybe you don't have to,
yeah.
because it says you wrote for it as well. Should we talk
Yeah,
about it, or should we just skip
sure.
over it and
No,
pretend
we
it
can
doesn't
talk about
exist?
it. So sketch marks was fairly early in my time out here in LA.
Okay.
Um, so like I said, when I was in Chicago, I had a big background and to be very frank, uh, I was chasing the Saturday Night Live dream. So my 22-year-old brain said, okay, go to Chicago,
Yep.
perform with Second City, perform with IO, go to New York and be on Saturday Night Live. And what I didn't know was that's the dream of like thousands of people. Um, so a lot more competition.
Hmm.
And if you know the cast of Saturday Night Live, it's about 12 people max. So like
Yeah.
thousands of
Each
wannabes.
year.
Yeah. And like even then, like people will come on the show, be there for a season, then drop.
Yeah.
Um, but I chased that for a long time and and these were really good skills to have because in the VO world, you need to be able to improvise, come up with characters on the fly, make the scripts your own, and so on. So it was all good skills to have.
Yeah.
Um, and when I came out to LA, I was really uh, kind of throwing all everything everywhere, which is very easy to do out here because there's
Yeah.
opportunities to do voice acting, there's opportunities to be on camera, to do theater, to do music. Like it's such a cool, vibrant city.
Yeah.
And I saw an audition for a sketch video, a sketch comedy video. Uh, sent like auditioned. They had me come in. I did one sketch video with them, and they liked me so much they're like, hey, let's build a group. And so with sketch marks, we worked together for probably about 2 years. We produced a few different pieces of comedy, but yeah, a few of them I wrote, a few of them I was just happy to be a part of, and then parted ways with the group. Everybody kind of went their own way because our linchpin kind of decided they were done with the group, and it's like, okay, well, you own the camera, so I guess we're all finished.
How many characters do you voice in Genshin Impact?
Um, uh,
Aside from the three that I spoke about before we started recording.
I mean, I think
Anzai,
I'm up to
Hushang,
like,
and Babak.
yeah, I think like 12 maybe. I
Wow.
mean, oh yeah, because every time I would go in,
Hmm.
there was the main character.
Yeah.
So the first time they brought me in was for Anzai, who was
Hmm.
this dishonored samurai, who was chasing around the main characters. But then along with that, they had two or three other characters on top of it.
Yeah.
So like various, guards and warriors.
Hmm.
Um, and then Hushang was kind of the big one because apparently he became a meme who told kids that they needed to go out and touch more grass. Um,
Oh, is that what the thing
yes,
is in your CV? Something about touch grass or something like that? There's some.
possibly.
I was gonna say because I had a look
Oh,
about
it's on my website. Yeah,
on
I
your
have the clip
website.
from the
Yes, it says something
game.
about touch grass. I was like,
Yeah. They need to read less books and touch more grass. I think that was where that character came in. But yeah, Babak and I believe I played one of the main character's father. So it's sort of once I got in with Chris Faela and Brooke Chalmers, who direct those pieces, it's sort of the, hey, we only have a few lines, but do you want to come in and just knock them out? It's like, cool. How old are they? What's the situation? Let's jump right in.
I've just seen it here. Yeah, they need to touch more grass, not books.
Yes. Well, and I had a sister who said, "Hey,
Straight
I
on
want."
Reddit.
Well, I have a sister. I'm one of six kids, and
Wow,
uh, yeah, my
I'm one of
family.
four.
Oh, nice. So
Yes.
your parents knew when to sort of stop.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, there's like a 10-year age gap between me and my older brother. So that was the
oh
sort of
wow.
that was the period when they were like, what do we do now? I don't know.
Yep. Oh, my people keep asking my wife and I, "Are you gonna have another?" And I'm like, "This one's not even a year. Could we like pump the brakes just a bit?" But yeah, my little sister Becky, she said, "Oh, I just started playing Genshin Impact. When will I find you in the game?" But because Genshin is like multiple countries upon cities upon worlds of characters and interactions, I just said, I don't know. It may be years before you actually find me in the game.
That's so funny. That
Ugh.
honestly, like, it's so weird, like the age gap and stuff, because I have a younger brother who's like
Mhm.
exactly a year younger than me, and I'm thinking 3 months. Just 3 months.
Mhm.
I mean, put together the rest of the puzzle pieces and yeah. Yeah. So Lenny for
Yeah.
the Hint commercials. I watched a little bit of them on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I like them. I like them. They're very recent, aren't they?
Yeah, they we made those in the last couple of years. I worked with Rick Zeif,
Rick
who,
Zife, yes, I was just gonna
yeah,
say, yeah.
great guy. And this was an opportunity where the producers wanted the both of us to improvise with each other. So they had us linked up on Zoom, and we were recording via uh, what's the name of the software? I have it. I pay for it
Source
every month.
Connect.
Source Connect. Thank you. They had us
You're
linked up
welcome.
via Source Connect, and uh, they just had Rick and me going back and forth, and like, uh, you know, I was playing more like the down here like the heavy guy, and Rick was more
Uh-huh.
up here like more of the I'm a little not as smart, but we both, I think both came in assuming we were the higher pitched guy, and so they had to like John, you're actually the heavy in this. Like you're more of the Frank Sinatra type, and he's more
Mhm.
of the Jerry Lewis type. Oh, okay, got it. Uh, but it was a lot of fun. I think Rick came in with a lot more knowledge of like what lemurs eat and do than I did. He's like, well, lemurs, they do this and this. I'm like, I didn't know that, Rick. That's good information to have. But yeah, we improvised back and forth. They took enough that they took all the takes, and then they've come up with a couple different commercials from it. So it was a blast to do, and yeah, hopefully they make more. But it's crazy how quickly advertising campaigns will shift.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But here's the big question. Oh,
yeah,
no, 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 no. I insist. You go first.
oh, I got nothing. What's your question?
Have you ever had some hint?
Oh
Some
yeah,
of the actual drink.
yeah. So they actually they every time I would do a work for them or do a pickup session, they sent me a case.
Oh wow.
So I actually had a chance to try several of their flavors. And my favorite so far was the tangerine because it was just nice and light
Ooh.
and pleasant. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool. What were you gonna say
Yeah.
before I interrupted? Sorry.
No idea.
Oh, I'm so
I think it was
sorry.
something along, the amount of work that Rick and I put out for the Hint people. They had
Ah, right,
enough that
okay.
they could continue to build new commercials off of it, and the only thing they had us really coming in to do after the end of it was just to say the new names of the new flavors they were coming out with. So like, hey, we've got new cherry vanilla. Hey, hey, you got to try this new coconut lime flavor. So, yeah, like I said, nothing that would have aided this podcast.
I'll have to try
Made
some when
more
I'm next
interesting.
over, to be fair.
Yeah, do it. It's good
Yeah.
stuff. I liked it.
Awesome. So is it like an energy drink or is it just like a hydration drink?
It's just water. It's just water with fruit extract in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like no extra vitamins, minerals. Well, uh shilling for them again. They do they actually can
It's all
I
right.
think they came out with like Hint Water Plus, which has both like the flavor and then like extra vitamins and zinc. But I don't believe they're trying to compete with like Gatorade or vitamin water or Monster or
Yeah.
anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll be on the lookout then when I'm next
Yeah.
over for some hint. Yeah, this interview is sponsored by Hint. Please
Yes.
link
Yeah.
below the type in the code below in the
Yeah.
checkout or something like that.
Hint, feel free to pay us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Royalties, we need them. Um,
Yeah.
is there anything at the moment that you can talk about? Like any voiceover projects that you've done that are not under NDA that you'd like to promote or talk about anything that's upcoming? Anything?
Well, from the VO side, I do have a couple of projects that are slated to come out within the next few months, but I
Mhm.
cannot talk about them. One is a feature-length film that will be coming out to Netflix,
Ooh.
and it is a sequel of a currently running movie that's already on Netflix.
Ooh.
But other than that, I can't say anything else under NDA. Um, uh, a couple of things I can talk about. They're a little boring, but I just did a couple different pieces for a financial firm that
Mm-hmm.
does crypto, definancing, et cetera, et cetera. They're already out there in the ether, but it's very much their explainer videos. They're more about filling the pocket than they are about
Yeah.
the artistic quality of them, but they're fun to do.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact, the biggest thing I have right now is I have been in rehearsal for the last couple months for a production of the Nutcracker.
Ooh.
So yeah, I it's a children's ballet company, but they
Mm-hmm.
have a couple different professional performers as a part of it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I play the Godfather Drosselmeyer,
Mm-hmm.
who kind of sets everything in motion. And so I'm not a dancer by any means, and really all I do is just point at the children that are doing these amazing like dance maneuvers and twists and turns and all sorts of stuff. But I've been doing it for the last 5 years,
Oh,
and
wow.
we go up at the Alex Theater in Glendale in the second
Ooh.
week of December. Yeah,
That sounds like a lot of fun.
yeah,
Love
it's
being
a
on
blast,
stage.
and frankly, it keeps me. I frankly I book more work when I'm in rehearsal for this show, because I'm in a much more playful mindset. I'm hanging out with like 8 year olds and teenagers who just they don't have all the like adult stuff on their shoulders yet, so it's
Yeah,
much easier to
yeah,
just
yeah.
joke around about farts and burps, and then take that into the audition space for animation. Um, and yeah, and the other thing is these are all super type A kids, so they have much
Oh yeah.
stricter schedules than I do. And again, like they're all very talented dance professionals. So for me, it's a really unique thing that I honestly, given my background in voice acting and comedy, never thought I would be a part of. But a friend of mine from high school who chose a career in dance reached out with the opportunity about, like I said, about 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
said, "Hey, this is a role that's been done a
Yeah.
thousand times before, can kind of come off as creepy if not done well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you could be this role without being creepy." And I was like, "I that's a compliment. I'll take it." And yeah, it's a blast. So
Well, that's
yeah, that is
good.
one thing I'm happy to pub.
I was gonna say as well because you've done a few commercials for like Walmart and stuff like
Yeah.
voiceover and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That's really cool. I apologize, I didn't bring any of those up, but yeah,
No, it's okay. I mean, I look at those as, I mean, super exciting when I got them. They are uh, every super exciting when I got them, but they are very much they're not the fun stuff everybody likes to talk about, but they do pay the bills. So I had done legal copy for Walmart. I was their fast talking guy at the end of the commercial.
ooh,
Same thing with like Goose Island Brew Company. Goose Island Brew Company, drink responsibly. Like uh, Brown Ales. Like that's really how I got my start. Was just hustling, doing the commercials, and frankly, as anybody attempting to go into the voiceover world needs to know, commercials are the first thing that they look at because for an agent,
yeah,
they want to know you can make them money. Bugs Bunny and Genshin and all the other cartoons are great, but to be the spokesperson for like Kit Kat is what buys you a house.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so so yeah, I've done quite a bit of commercial work and I'm super proud of it. But yeah, nobody really wants to talk about
Ah,
that.
it's all right, don't worry. It is very
Yeah,
interesting to talk about, though.
yeah,
Honestly, just I find it really fun. Really, I've
yeah.
done a few commercial auditions, but obviously
Okay.
I've not had any, success. But just got to keep trying. Get yourself
Yeah.
out there. Well, John, thank you so, so much for coming on my show. It really does mean the world to me. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
It's been a blast, Amber. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Where can we find you on social media? Have you got a
Uh,
website? Have you got any social media pages?
yeah, so my website is johnbsteins.com. So that's
Mhm,
John, the letter B, Steins.com. Somebody else
mhm.
got johnsteins.com.
Oh,
Uh,
right.
yeah, I know. And they spell their name different than me too. But
Oh
yeah.
no.
Uh, and then on Instagram, I am at JB Steins.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the two that I dabble in. So
Okay.
you can find me on Facebook, but good luck.
Oh, I won't bother then if that's the case. I don't really like to
Yeah,
go
I mean,
hunting.
I haven't touched uh, X, formerly known as Twitter, or any of those
Oh yeah, I've
things.
moved
Yeah,
off that.
so
I don't really use it anymore.
yeah, and I know there's Blue Sky, and I haven't dabbled in those yet. We'll see.
Yeah, I moved to Blue Sky, but I rarely post them there. It's just
Yeah,
hard to think. I guess I'd say Instagram, YouTube, and yeah, that's pretty much it on my main
yeah.
public platforms. Yeah,
Hmm.
and I suppose it's mainly as YouTube because my Instagram's private. I have two Instagrams, but yeah. Um, well, John, again, thank you so much for coming on my show, and to you at home, thank you so much for watching this episode of In Conversation with ATF with the lovely John Stiens. I hope
I,
you enjoyed it as much as I did recording it. From me and John, bye. We'll see you
I
around. Oh, and it nearly did the thing. Hold on, wait. One, two, three. There we go.
ah.
It's a little thing that I've thing on Zoom. That's a funny little thing. Yeah. I'll see you in another video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. All right. I'll see you guys. Bye. And cut.